Turns out the calls were coming from inside the house. Whoa. Spooky. Anyways, hey, it's still Next Gen Retro Men Podcast Spooky Time Celebration. As always, I am Ryan, and I'm joined by...
Scary Adrian.
Not so scary, Jason.
All right. So this week we are going to our own personal stories of horror. I don't know if it's necessarily horror, just some spooky stories, things that have happened to us that are kind of spooky. So we're gonna share those this week. But before we get to that, hey guys, what you been up to?
This past weekend, we actually went camping in the backyard. It was the first decent weather we've had since January.
See any Sam Squanches?
No, but there's a lot of deer. Set up this little backyard tent. I brought up my stuff. We had a little beach tent for Charlotte. We set hers up. I grabbed my old grill and just loaded it with chopped wood from the backyard and just lit that on fire. I have no idea how much of this is legal.
I'm sure you can grill in your backyard.
That was my excuse, ready to shoot, if anyone questioned me. But yeah, it was...
shoot Adrian.
So yeah, we set up the camp. I have this like little fold out fencing that I used to like build a little pen for Charlotte when she was a baby. We kind of use that to kind of block the way of the deer that run through our backyard.
Is that friendly that they're going to interrupt your camp?
They eat food out of my hands. Again, I don't know how legal that is.
Depends on what you're feeding them.
Oh, I mean, no, I feed them apples. They're pretty cool.
Venison jerky.
It's made of
people jerky. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. We grilled little hot dogs. We made some s'mores. We kept the fire going. Drank, whiskey under the starlight. It was a lot of fun. It did rain on us. But yeah, I like it. That's camping. I also watched the classic movie Nosferatu.
How'd you like it?
It was actually pretty good. Like, it's from 1922, I think.
Yeah, it's old.
Silent
Better
movie.
or worse than Mothman Prophecies?
I liked it better. It was really good for for the time, for what it was. Like, you can see like some technical snafus with choppy editing.
Well, yeah, it was like one of the first ever movies.
Yeah. So like you can excuse that, but for what it was at the time, it's actually really good. It's a little creepy. It's not super scary, but thumbs up.
What's that movie with Willem Dafoe that they it's like a spoof kind of dark comedy about that movie, Shadow of the Vampire or something like that?
Yeah, I think that's what it's called.
I'm not sure. I've never heard that one.
Yeah, he plays a fake making of Nosferatu.
There's
really
a
good
horror movie of the making of where the actor who played it was actually a vampire or something.
That's Shadow of the Vampire. Yeah, it's the same movie. That's what we're
is that
talking
it?
about.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Willem Dafoe plays Nosferatu.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, no, I'd like to see that one.
It's
But
pretty good.
yeah, original classic Nosferatu. It's good stuff.
It's from it released January 26th, 2001, and someone was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Actor in a Supporting Role.
Oh, really?
And Nicolas Cage produced it.
Oh, okay. Even more of a reason to watch it.
What about you, Jason? What are you up to?
Playing a lot of Ghost of Tsushima because they released that multiplayer patch, and I'm hooked because it's a co-op grind loot crawler thing, but with Ghost of Tsushima's kind of gameplay, so it's right up my alley. Other than gaming, I haven't really watched any movies or anything lately. I think finishing The Boys last week was the last thing I did, but me and my wife went to downtown Grapevine. We're just going on a trip to go to the Warhammer Citadel store down there, and we decided to make an afternoon out of it because they have a lot of boutiques and everything down there and restaurants. They have like a restaurant that's dedicated only to making chili and really good sandwiches. And
Sounds like a really bad road trip restaurant.
no, it's that's for sure. But like she wanted to go in this one boutique. I'm like, okay, let's go. Because whenever your wife wants to go into a boutique, you go into the boutique with her. And they are like, hey, you want a free beer? I'm like, oh, okay, sure. So downtown Grapevine's now my favorite place. And my mom sent me a box of like fun Halloween goodies, like some Star Wars Halloween masks for work and a table runner, and she made Grayson a ball. So he's been having fun with that. He loves playing with just footballs and basketballs and baseballs. If it's a ball, he wants to play with it. That's about it for me. What about you, Brian?
I'm all caught up, 31 for 31.
Seen 31?
No, I'm
Oh.
not finished, but I'm on pace. Like, I'm not a day behind.
You're at
anymore.
20.
Like, yes. Yes, we're recording this on the 20th. So, I've watched a bunch this week. I watched Wolf Cop, which, holy shit, that movie is so awesome. We did our first 3-piece cinema on that movie, and I only watched the middle. So this time I got to see the beginning, the middle, and the end.
Oh, you got to see the shape-shifting lizard people.
Yeah.
Wolf dick in the beginning.
Dude, that was so awesome. Like, why are you upset about that? That was amazing.
And the wolf sex.
Yes. And I watched another Wolf Cop, which is the sequel to Wolf Cop, which was really good as well.
Is there 2 wolf wieners in that one?
I'm not going to say anything. That would be a spoiler. Kevin Smith is in it, though. There's that.
Oh, wow.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I watched Hell Comes to Frogtown, which is not a horror movie, even though it was tagged as a horror movie, but it was awesome. It's Roddy Piper, which he's in one of my favorite movies of all time. So, They Live. He's in They Live. So.
Oh, I was about to say Ready to Rumble.
No, he's in this, and he plays it's like post-apocalyptic. All the nukes and stuff went off. A bunch of people died. They're trying to repopulate the planet. Most of the men died in the war, so they need virile men. They're like sought after. So he's like a hot commodity. And he's apparently like this legendary lover or something. I don't know. It's really stupid and awesome, and I loved it. And oh yeah, there's also mutated frog people. So you should watch that. It's really good. I watched Midsummer.
Mm-hmm.
It was all right. I don't think it was as good as Hereditary. It was a much different movie.
Yes.
And he did
It
a
was
lot
like really messed up.
Not like it's about the same as like messed
It
up
depends on your
level
tolerance.
of Hereditary. Like there were parts of it I didn't like because it reminded me of a bad trip that I had one time when I was much younger. And
Where'd you go?
Disneyland, right?
I went to the center of my cerebral cortex and I flew through outer space, and that's not even a joke on that one. But yeah, anyways, it just there was some stuff in that was very reminiscent of that, and that creeped me out quite a bit. And it's also like a very like colorful, like cheery like movie, and like the scenery is very like vibrant and bright and like happy, but like the things that are happening are like not. So, Jinx, I watched Bad Taste, which sucks. It's so bad, but there's like this really stupid charm to it of just how bad it is, where it's almost intolerable at the beginning, where I was like, what the fuck even is this? This is so bad. But then about like halfway through, it really kind of like ramps up and gets like like the badness
It becomes good taste.
Yeah, like it's weird. Like I don't know exactly what it is that changes all that, but there's some funny parts in it. And then I didn't even know it was Peter Jackson. Like the credits started rolling. It was like Peter Jackson, and I was like, what the? I knew he did Dead Alive, and I know he had done other like schlocky, bad, campy, like gory movies. But I had like I don't know, just for whatever reason, and he's in the movie too, so it didn't even click like when I saw him. So I watched Mandy, which holy crap, you guys should totally watch Mandy.
That's Arnold Schwarzenegger
No.
one, right? No.
This is Nick Cage.
Oh.
It's a fever dream. Like the way it's shot and everything is just so trippy and weird, and it's really well done though, and it's very creepy. But it's a revenge movie, which is like a very specific type of like horror movie where the person that's doing all the killing, you kind of want them to do it in a way, like if that makes sense, instead of most horror movies where it gets a slasher where the slasher is doing all the killing and you kind of don't want them to do, you know what I mean?
Oh no, Saw 2 I was rooting for the death the whole time.
Anyways, it's really, really good. Nick Cage is absolutely fucking bananas in it. And the only thing I'll say, I'll say 2 words, and those 2 words are Cheddar Goblin. That's all I'm gonna say. Exactly. I watched Color Out of Space, which holy crap, that was really good. Like that's Nicolas Cage as well. Like
I heard that's really good.
It is very, very good. You should totally watch it. It's awesome. Like it's not like the best horror movie I've seen, but like you should totally watch it. Like it's very
Lovecrafty from.
It's
Lovecraft. Yeah, it's a Lovecraft novel, but like how Lovecrafty is it?
Very.
Okay.
It gets there. Like it's awesome. You should watch that. I watched From Beyond, which is another Lovecraft story. Set in the 80s. It's a little hokey, but not really. It's got Ken Foree in it, which he's from Dawn of the Dead and a bunch of other horror movies. He's really awesome. He's good in it. Barbara Crampton is in it, which like from all the like old horror movies I've been watching, I forgot like Barbara Crampton's hot. Like there's that. So yeah, From Beyond is pretty good. I watched Reanimator, which has Barbara Crampton in it, and the main guy from Reanimator or from Beyond is also in Reanimator.
So Reanimator's double Lovecraft.
Yeah, you should at least watch Reanimator. It's a really good 80s kind of schlocky horror film, but it still has some like good concepts. It's a Lovecraft story as well. Surprise. And it's good. Like there's some really cool like gory scenes in it. Like, and not in the sense where it's like, oh, there's gore everywhere, but like they do things with it that's just like a little different than most things do with like gore and that kind of stuff. Anyways, so that's all the horror movies that I've watched this week. I have at least 11 more to go, so we'll get caught up on that in the next week. I'm still playing Bloodborne. Holy crap, Bloodborne is amazing. I'm in Canehurst right now. I just beat Rom. I got to go through Yargul as well. Anyways, the game's amazing. I played a little bit of Fall Guys with Ben, which was really fun. Ben was like laughing so hard and he wanted to play. And Lily and Ben have been playing Undertale. That's like Lily's favorite game, or was. I don't know. She like was obsessed with that game for a while, so she's playing that with Ben right now. And it's really cute watching them like play that together. It's been cute. And Kelly is rewatching Arrested Development, which means I'm kind of rewatching Arrested Development, which means holy crap, I love that show.
Yeah.
The Fox ones. I kind of fell off at one.
Yeah, the first 3, which she's gonna watch the first. I mean, she might go further, but I'm pretty sure she's just gonna watch the first 3 seasons. So, yep. Cool. That's everything. Yeah. Which leads us to news.
The second Mandalorian trailer came out.
I didn't see it.
It's a little flash scenes here or there. I'm super hyped. I started rewatching the first season again. Just like so good. Like just that music alone kind of like gets you hyped.
I'm excited for it.
I'm excited to get that music stuck in my head again.
How it's so good though. There's like a quick little flash scene in the trailer of that Horatio Sands character, so I think he might be coming back.
Cool.
Or it might be just something else. I don't know.
Did he die?
Yeah.
He was frozen in carbonite and turned over to whoever he was turning him over to.
Oh, right. He's Brian Posehn died, not Horatio Sands. Got it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a MODOK trailer.
What?
That kind of popped out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's like an animated film on Hulu. Or animated TV show.
It's
Is
kind of
it
like
gonna
a
be like an actual show?
Yes.
yeah, but it's kind
Oh,
of
cool. I like MODOK.
It looks dumb.
it looks
Good.
like robot chickeny.
Weird. Cool. I'll watch it.
Yeah,
And
it's
kind
good.
of yeah,
Like, it
I
kind
need
looks
to
of
fun.
I need to check out the
adult
trailer.
humor. Yeah, like adult humor kind of stuff. And
Well, I mean, MODOK's like a big dumb character anyway, so
Yeah.
it's weird. I don't know what it is, but anyways. And also, Pixar is or Disney, I guess, is releasing Pixar Soul this Christmas on Disney Plus, which
Cool.
is cool because I want to see the movie, but also like
it's gonna be that stupid Premiere Access crap.
I don't think so.
no, I think they learned the lesson with Mulan.
They made a lot of money doing that.
It created a lot of controversy as well, but now it's just going straight out Disney Plus.
Cool.
Yeah, it's cool because like I want to see it, but it's also kind of like just kind of reminds you of like how shitty the world is because I wanted to see it in the theater.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if that's like a good thing or a bad thing for MCU and Star Wars stuff, or I don't know. When standalone, Soul's coming out. Looking
Cool.
forward to that.
So I have two pieces of news, and I'm gonna do the bad one first. Jeff Bridges, the dude, is diagnosed with lymphoma, which sucks. It's really bad. However, he did say, or he made it seem as if it was found fairly early, and he said the prognosis is good. So, like, we need Jeff Bridges. He's awesome. So, he was in Tron, like.
Obadiah Stane.
Yeah, no, I mean, we
Yeah.
can go through like a whole list, but
Oh, yeah.
anyways, have a
Get better soon.
great recovery.
Yes.
So, and then my happy news is, man, they released a like trailer for Spider-Man Miles Morales. You get a cat named Spider-Man.
Mhm.
Which that's cool in and of itself, but you can put on a costume that has a backpack that has the cat inside of it, and there are takedowns that you can do where the cat comes out and like punches dudes in the face. Like,
So you're sold.
I was like, I'm kind of on the fence because I'm not getting a PS5, but I might
It's
just
gonna be
get
on
the
PS4 also.
I know, but it's one of those things where it's like, I don't want to play the like weak version of it, but that maybe sold me on getting it just because I want that cat.
I thought you pre-ordered the PS5.
No, I wanted to, but I kind of thought about it and I made a decision to wait, money wise and game wise and
Special edition wise. I want a God of War one.
yeah, it didn't make sense for me to get it right away. Like there's maybe one game at launch that I'm just have to have. Or would have to have, which is Demon Souls. But yes, also Bugsnax. Like, don't hate on Bugsnax. That game looks so stupid fun, and the theme song is amazing. But the only game that I would really like want is Demon Souls, and I don't want the only game that I have for a new console to be Demon Souls because I'm gonna get pissed off at it and want to take a break. I don't really have like anything to play, So I don't know. No, I didn't get the PS5. But yeah, the Spider-Man, the cat, hell yeah. I want to give it scritches on behind its ears.
So, scientists have examined a bunch of people and scientifically proven that Sinister is the scariest movie of all time. Have y'all seen it?
No, it's on my
No.
list.
It's
This
pretty
is my
good.
thing. I know,
Is
but
it-
this is my thing. Like, it's the scariest movie all time based on their criteria. What makes
Yeah,
a good
it's-
scary movie isn't necessarily heartbeats and change in heartbeats and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
that could be through jump scares, and I don't think jump scares are, all that scary. You know?
I think
Like-
Hereditary was ranked number 4 on that list too, and
Which is weird because like that's not a like that's a slow burn.
it's very
like,
slow. Yeah.
it's a psychological movie that yes, the end of it is like very intense, and there are moments of it that are very intense, but it's not like scary.
Mm-hmm.
If that,
It was a weird list. I had a lot of my favorites in like the top 25 or something like that, but I was like, huh.
Like I would say, like out of my list that I've done so far, like the 20 that I've done, I would
Good
say
half mine were on that list.
yeah, I would say The Void is probably the scariest movie that I've watched this month.
Ooh, I
Just
haven't seen
because
it yet.
Yeah, just because I hadn't seen it, I didn't know much about it, so there was just some really intense and crazy stuff in it that was really cool. Like I wasn't
Like, which one pops in your head? Like, all right, time for bed, and everyone's going to bed, and you turn the lights off, going to work, or walk into bed, and you're like, oh shit. Like, which movie pops in your head?
Momo.
Like,
No,
the scariest?
Yeah. Well, specifically Ryan, because you just binge watched like a shit ton of
it's
horror
none of
movies.
these so far. Like I think I've done a good job of like balancing some pretty intense stuff with some pretty silly, so bad it's good stuff, like Shopping Mall, kind of in between some other like more kind of intense things. So I don't think any of these so far have really freaked me out, like, where I'm turning off lights and I'm checking behind my shoulder and stuff. I would say, me personally, the scariest movie of all time, like that really messed me up, was Fire in the Sky. That
Dark
movie,
Skies.
that movie fucked me up. Like I'm talking weeks of like not being able to sleep and stuff. Like
Obviously, are you gonna watch that one this year?
no, I no. It's one of those things where I think it would give me nightmares just because that there's things in the back of my brain that, it activated when I was a kid and it'll flip the switches on those again.
I thought about watching that one because like
I thought about putting
I
my
haven't
list.
I haven't watched like a lot of scary stuff, and the things that I do watch are kind of weird, like Rubber and Nosferatu. Something
Yeah.
like going all the way full and like, hey, you know what? Fire in the Sky.
Was Fire in the
I
Sky the one with the scary alien abduction scene?
yeah, with Travis Walton.
Yeah.
God.
No, thank you.
Yeah, that really messed me up. Like
Mine is Dark Skies. Like I can't watch that movie again.
Adrian, you should watch The Color Out of Space. Like that's a good, weird, scary movie.
Or watch Hereditary.
Yeah. I think Hereditary, like, but if he's saying he wants like weird,
Grace
I
made it
like
through
weird
Hereditary.
stuff too.
Yeah.
I would say also like From Beyond, which is like another Lovecraft story. It's a little bit, there's titties in it and a little bit more gore and like creature effects, but it's very much a weird movie. That makes sense. Yeah, well, all old like 80s horror movies had titties. That's one of the things. Like every movie that I've seen that has Barbara Crampton in it so far, she's showed her boobs. So thanks,
Nosferatu had no titties.
0 out of 10. Do not recommend.
No vampire wiener.
Or wolf dick.
In other news, Tatiana Maslany. I don't ever know if I'm pronouncing names correctly anymore, unless it's Japanese. She's now denying the fact that she's been cast as She-Hulk. So this is kind of weird since all these news people have been like, "Hey, she's She-Hulk," and she's like, I don't know if I am or not."
Yeah, it's weird.
Mm-hmm. It's like that, or she got the casting and she doesn't want to do it now.
Yeah, like did something change, or
I think that's more of what it is.
Kind of what it seems like, just because the showrunner said something about it. It's not like it was, the guy that runs the snack bar. Like,
yeah, so I don't know if there's just some weird drama behind that, but I don't even know if they're even close to filming that show. So who knows?
There were rumors like a long time ago with what's her name?
Alison Brie.
No, she's on Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Rosa.
Yeah.
There were like rumors that she might be She-Hulk.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that.
I mean, like, with honestly, whoever, as long as it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just give me someone who can act.
Sure.
Yeah. So that's it for my news.
And that means that's it for everyone's news. So we're gonna go into our scary stories. I don't know what stories y'all are gonna tell, so like I'm really excited to hear these. Does anyone want to go first?
I have a couple. I don't have anything like big ghost stories that like, oh shit, this happened to me in my life, but I have a lot of little creepy things.
Like Casper.
Like Casper. Like watching that movie Casper. Oh, my first one is actually Ryan would know this. It might actually be on your
Oh
list.
yeah. It's
Is
not.
it? It's not okay. Good. When we first moved in together, we were furniture shopping at Goodwill,
Yep.
and we needed a couch, like a big couch for the living room, and we found the perfect couch right there in the side, and the lady behind the counter said, "Yeah, it's yours if you can. I'll sell it to you for $10 if you haul it out today." We're like, deal.
Yep.
So we go to my parents' house, pick up my dad's truck, go out. $10 later, haul the couch over to our place, our new apartment,
Mm-hmm.
and everything's fine, no problem. The couch, I remember the couch cost like $10. The cover that I think your mom gave it to you cost like
Yeah.
$90.
I don't think it was that. It was like $50 or something like that, but it was expensive. So the cover
Yeah.
was more than the couch. I will say this: that was the most comfortable couch.
No, yeah, and like it really was, and like the reason it was, we think, is because it was a haunted couch. The people wanted to get rid of it that quick, and as soon as you lay down on that couch, like you just knock out in like less than 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Also,
I had trouble going to sleep around that time, and I would come home from work and lay on that couch to play video games, and I would wake up like you coming home, or like just in the middle of the night, like 4 a.m. Like, whoa, shit, need to go get in bed.
yeah, and I had my own little like single recliner that I would kind of hang out on and watch TV or play video games. And I remember like hearing like snoring coming from the couch
Yep.
without Ryan on there, like just by itself. Like you'd hear like some weird like snoring sounds.
I remember you playing Zelda or Mario Kart or something, and I was already upstairs in bed, and you thought that I had passed out on the couch because you heard me snoring, and then you turned around and there was like no one there.
And then I ran upstairs screaming, and that was our haunted couch.
I don't know if I like that.
Dude, I'm telling you though,
It could have been nice though.
it was, dude. It was like I never felt like creeped
nice.
out or anything. Like I literally just fell asleep on that couch so easily.
It was ghost cuddles.
I get, yeah, it would do that
Yeah.
couch but it was so comfy too. Like it was like one of those like 80s couches that was like spongy, but it wasn't lumpy. Like, oh, dude, it was so comfy.
An 80s ghost.
I didn't forget about that, but like I always forget about that. Like
It's a good one. I
that
like
was
that
fun.
story.
Yeah,
That was
It's
fun.
cozy.
I think we moved to Colorado, and I think we chucked it or something.
Someone else has that haunted ghost couch now.
Dude, whatever, man. I'm
They're
saying
asleep right now.
that couch was so comfy. Okay, so so I was in like 8th grade and 9th grade. I lived in this house. It was really close to the high school that I eventually went to. And it was just, it was fine. Like, didn't really notice anything. It was sometimes like I felt kind of weird in the house, but I never like saw anything until. So my birthday is early, like August-ish. And the way that the school, like first week of school started, my birthday was like in the middle of that week, but that Friday was Friday the 13th, which is just a coincidence, but it's kind of awesome at the same time. So that Friday, a bunch of my friends came over to my house, and we were gonna like hang out and eat cake and just be stupid freshmen. And so we're like hanging out in my room listening to like, I don't know, Fear Factory or Slipknot or something, I don't know. And me and my girlfriend are like, we're hanging out or whatever, and then they like push us into my closet, and they shut the doors to the closet. The closet had like slats, like it was one of those doors that are like on like tracks, but it's like 4 panels, and then you slide them closed with like the 2 knobs, and they they're flat, and then you open. So when they push us in there, when they shut the door, those doors sometimes have like a little metal piece like that sticks out on the bottom that keeps them from slamming into each other when you like open them or whatever. Well, when they closed that, it like scratched my girlfriend's leg, and we like, you let us out, you jerks, whatever. So we get out, we like look, and her leg like actually has like a scratch and it's bleeding a little bit, and we're like, okay, let's go to my parents' bedroom, to their bathroom. They have like the first aid kit in there, so we go in there. I like clean her leg off, and it's all put the Band-Aid on and everything, and she like walks out of the bathroom and heads back to the party, and I'm putting away the first aid kit, and my parents' bedroom light is off. Their room is like completely dark, and it's already nighttime at this point, and I shut off the light to the bathroom, and there's someone standing there, like a silhouette, like a black shadow silhouette just standing there.
Ugh.
And I go, huh? And I say my girlfriend's name. Well, I don't want to say her name, and didn't get her. No, so I say her name, and they turn and look at me. And
the shadow?
then, yes. And then I say her name again, and nothing happens. Like no one, doesn't move again or anything. It's just looking at me or turn its head towards me. And so I turn the bathroom light back on, and there's no one there. And I haul ass out of there.
As most people do whenever they've seen something spooky.
Yes. So I'm like I'm freaking out. My friends think I'm messing with them and all this, and I'm like, no, I'm serious. So me and my friend Brad go back to my parents' bedroom, because like we're like, at this point we're like, oh, someone like actually in the house, like what the fuck? And we open my parents' closet door like real quick and like swing it open, and my dad was in the Air Force at the time, and all his uniforms were hanging on the back of the door, and they swung out at us, and we screamed and ran, and
I thought you were gonna say your dad was in the closet, like, boo.
No. Oh, so like that's actually something. This is like not really spooky, but it's kind of tied to this. My girlfriend's mom was saying like, hey, it's Friday the 13th. Let's go to this like little cemetery that I know, and we're gonna try to do like a seance or whatever. And we're all like,
That's
hell
never
yeah,
a good idea.
Yeah, we're all like, hell yeah. But before all that, like my dad had gone, like I didn't know where my dad was, but he was there earlier. And my mom's like, oh, he went to Blockbuster to like rent something. And I was like, okay, I didn't think we were going to watch a movie, but whatever. So they drive us like to this other part of the town, and we get out, and there's like these like 5, maybe 6 or so gravestones, like kind of behind this like oil change place, kind of by these woods, like in this little area. And we're all like sitting there, and she's like kind of doing this like fake seance stuff. And then whenever she said she's going to try to like communicate with whoever, my dad came running out of the woods and scared the shit out of all of us. One of my friends was standing next to me, and when I turned around to run, he was already at the van.
He's fast.
Yeah. So like it's one of those things where it's like, how fast are you? I don't know. It depends on what's chasing me. So anyways, but yes, my dad did jump out and scare everyone. So, but in a really like dumb way. I remember one of my friends' moms got really pissed off that we were doing a seance somewhere, but we really weren't doing a seance. It was just so my dad can jump out and scare us. Oh.
Ah. You set the whole thing up.
Yeah, I don't know. So anyways, I think my dad like hurt his ankle too. Like he slipped when he was running out. I don't know. So he like actually yelled like loud. So anyway,
it's like when Aragorn kicked that like helmet in Two Towers and broke his toe.
Yeah. So that was the first time I saw that entity, apparition, whatever you want to call it. I guess it's an apparition because I have looked it up to like see what it was or what it's classified as. So it is technically a shadow person. I guess it's the only thing I can find. Shadow people a lot of times are tied to sleep paralysis, and I've never had sleep paralysis, knock on wood. Like I don't ever want sleep paralysis.
Well, that's kind of weird because like when I first moved to Colorado,
Mm-hmm.
like for the first like 6 months or so, I kind of like saw shadow things like at the corner of my eye. Like I'd walk into a room and like a shadow would just like disappear, and like it was like at the corner of my eye. So I'm like, it's not there when I look at it, but like I noticed it.
You ever see the Man in the Hat?
Which hat?
There's a like shadow person like apparition that people see a lot of times with sleep paralysis, where it's a very tall individual wearing like a wide brim hat. I don't know. Also, I can kind of go off on a little tangent about seeing things out of the corner of your eye if you want. So that's the first time I saw that apparition. So my sister was in the marching band at our high school, and they went out of town a lot to like go to football games. My parents, like almost always, I would say if not always, went to her games. I always didn't. Sometimes I was like, I want to stay home and play Metal Gear Solid or whatever the hell it was I was playing. So another time, like my parent, like everyone's gone out of the house, and I'm just chilling at home playing, my PlayStation. And the way the house was set up, so my parents' bedroom was at the end of the hall, and then if you walk down the hall, to the right was my room. Then right after that, to the right was me and my sister's bathroom, and then straight ahead, like at the end of the hallway, the other end of the hallway was my sister's room, and then right to the left by my sister's room was the like exit of the hallway that led to like the front entrance and the living room area and stuff, like right there. So I'm walking out of my room to like go get a snack or something, and as I'm like turning right, like to go out of the hallway, just something feels weird. Like, and I turn and look in my sister's room, and that same, I guess it's the same like silhouette is sitting on her bed with like its head in its hands. And I'm like, I just kind of stare at it for a minute, or maybe not, probably not a minute.
Yeah, that's a long time.
I stare at it for a while, and then I just kind of don't like turn my back, and I just kind of back out into the hallway and turn on all the lights in the living room, and I sat in the living room until my parents got home. And when they got home, I turned all the lights back on through the hallway to my room and went, and then whatever. And then another time, I'm not sure if, I think my sister may have been already off to college at this point, and I was home alone again. I don't know what my parents were off doing or whatever. And as I'm walking down the hallway again, just something feels weird to my right side. So I turn and look to my right, and in the bathroom, the same kind of silhouette thing is standing, staring in the mirror with its hands like on the counter, like leaning forward. I kind of look at it, and I do the same thing, and I take off, and I'm in the living room, all the lights are on, like I'm just freaked out, trying to watch whatever's on TV to kind of take my mind off of like how freaked out I am. And I never saw it again. My parents got divorced pretty soon after all this, and moved in with my mom. My dad moved somewhere else, and we were renting that house, so we broke the lease or whatever on the house and blah blah blah. So one of my best friends in high school, his girlfriend at the time, her best friend moved into that house. And I don't know exactly what she saw or anything, but I remember him telling me that, and he didn't say anything to her about any of this, because I didn't really like talk to him too much about it, because I don't want to seem like a weirdo, but he knew that things creeped me out in the house, and he was there the night that we saw it or that I saw it the first time or whatever. So he knew yeah, there's weird shit in that house. She experienced some other things where she hated that house and it freaked her out. So it wasn't just me. And that's my big spooky story that I have.
I love listening to these while I'm sitting alone in a dark closet.
I have all my lights on.
Look behind you, Momo.
Momo doesn't scare me.
I know. It's still fun to say. It's like the word in and of itself. Oh god, it's killing him.
I haven't seen it. Strangling him. Get off him, Momo.
So my spooky story involved my dad's house. I have like a couple of spooky stories, but I'll tell this one and like one other one. Involved my dad's house, and I was maybe a freshman, sophomore in high school, asleep in my bed, and I just remember waking up probably middle of summer, just freezing cold for no reason. I could not figure out why. But I never really slept well in that house to begin with. It just always kind of made me uneasy, unless I was like in the living room for some reason. But I was in the room like the guest room, and I just woke up freezing cold for no reason. And then I went to go grab the blankets, and the blankets were gone. Like I had no blankets on me anymore, or anything like that. So I leaned over to get the blankets, and there was a face right next to my face.
Oh, ugh. Like
Of
a
an
Momo face?
features?
No, like like I could see where the eye should be or the nose should be, just something.
But just like sunken features then.
Yes,
Okay.
but it was
Like a
Like a skull?
it was there, but it wasn't there.
like okay, like a skull, or it was
To be honest, I closed my eyes real quick. I
Uh,
can't give like a perfect definition, but like I grabbed
Did you
the blanket,
Did you do that Sigourney Weaver Alien 3?
like I turned around,
You
like
licked you?
I rotated around and I turned my back to where that thing, like where it was, and it was between me and the rest of the room, and the bed was like pushed up against a wall, so I turned towards the wall, and my body started getting colder, and like you could feel like the goosebumps and everything, and like I was freezing cold. I could see my breath kind of cold, and I
Ugh.
could feel it, and I felt just like something on my neck breathing or like touching me. And then the blankets came back over my foot.
That's,
Like I didn't do it.
you knew you were
and-
cold, just being thoughtful.
So after the blankets came back over to my feet, all the cold air went away. It was instant almost. It like almost got hot. And after a few minutes, I shot up out of bed, went into the kitchen where there was like a spare TV, and it was 3:08 in the morning.
The
I
witching
know-
hour.
Yeah, I know. That's the
Mhm.
first thing I thought of, because like later on, I watched a movie called The Exorcism of Emily Rose, and they talked about the witching hour, and I didn't like whenever they brought that up because I remembered that experience. But I watched Sports Center on ESPN for the next like 4 hours straight, just until everyone woke up, because I did not want to go anywhere, and I couldn't find the remote, and I was just frozen in that spot. I couldn't do anything.
Yeah,
So
fuck
that was one of them. When I was younger, I lived out in Canyon Lake, Texas, in my kind of like my grandma's mobile home, and the mobile home was situated by a lake, and we kind of lived out in the boonies of Canyon Lake. I don't know if y'all ever been out to Canyon Lake, Texas at all,
Mm-hmm.
but
Yeah.
we lived like right next to the lake, and there was a mobile home. Then there was like a patch of forest behind my grandma's house, and like some bamboo and all that stuff. And there were two separate forest patches. There was the guy side and the girl side, and we created like little forts and stuff inside of them. Well, what we realized was that we built the guy one right next to a cemetery.
Hell yeah.
So one day, like I was looking for my Alien Queen action figure that I'm sure you know what I'm talking about, the Flying Queen.
Oh, I didn't have
Yeah.
the Flying Queen. I had the
the
regular
Flying
one.
Queen. I was looking for it because it's normally in my room, and I found it out in that like area. So I was like, okay, cool, that's fine. I was probably playing with it, and then I like gathered up all my toys from out there. I was probably early middle school at the time, or maybe even late elementary. And as I was walking back to my grandma's house from that wooded area, I saw something run past me. And I'm like thinking, oh, hey, it's deer and stuff like that. But still, I book it because I was really scared of the predator at the time.
Ugh.
And I'm back in my room, and I know I had like this stuff in my room. Like I had my action figures and everything in my room. I was playing with them that night. And I wake up the next day, and me and my friends go out to go play out there again, and a lot of my toys are back out there.
No, thank you.
Those sons of bitches.
And me and my friend, his name was Donnie, we kind of got spooked because we knew that we had those the night before because we were downing Mountain Dews out of a 2-liters and playing GoldenEye all night.
Hell yeah.
And so we knew that those were in the house. So I told him, like, this kind of stuff's been happening, but I didn't know why. And as we're walking back, we see shadow people walk by. And it's like a older, like a taller person and a kid. And so we book it back to my grandma's house. And at that point, my toys kept disappearing, but I didn't care anymore. I was not going back into those woods. Well, it turns out they demolished those woods and took out the cemetery and everything. Someone actually built a house on top of everything over there recently.
It's a bad
Who the
idea.
fuck is gonna live on
It's a
that?
great idea. But my uncle, who actually owned that house now since my grandmother passed, told me they found like dozens of my toys in that like wooded area.
Oh,
Why don't you
creepy
fucking
as hell.
share, Jason?
Huh?
The ghost wouldn't take them if you'd share.
I was sharing.
Go out there and get
have
'em. It's my
So
shit.
yeah, those are two of my like 4 big ones. But I'll leave the other 2 for another time.
Ugh, well, that's fucking
Right.
creepy.
All right, Adrian, what else you got?
I can shoot out 3 quick ones. They're
Ew.
kind of. When I lived up in Dallas, I saw a coyote with mange in the IKEA parking lot.
Chupacabra.
If you look up chupacabra, that's what it is. So I saw a chupacabra at IKEA. Living
The
up
one
in-
over in Frisco?
Yeah.
Ah,
I was going to work in the morning and crossing the street right there's a mangy coyote. I was like, oh shit, that's a chupacabra.
that was just me looking for a taco cabana.
And then when I lived up in Boulder, we had a huge flood a few years ago. So I had to like drive like a different way home after work,
Mhm.
like through like the mountains or whatever, or not the mountains, but just like a different path, and
Yeah.
pitch black. And like I see something in the middle of the road, and it's about 2 feet tall, and I had a shitty car, so like one of the headlights is already busted. So I kind of like sneak up, like kind of roll close to it to get it to see me and get out of the road. And like the head just turns around, like straight 180 degrees, and it's like a huge fucking horned owl. And I'm like, holy shit, because I've never seen that in the wild. And like
That's
it just
awesome.
slowly like takes off, like in slow motion. It's just like whoosh, whoosh.
Hey, did you know that owls are tied to alien abduction experiences?
No.
Mhm, I actually knew that.
Yeah. Some of that's been disproven, but yeah, there's people that have alien experiences and missing time and stuff recall seeing owls
And hearing.
because they have big eyes and
Big guy.
typically move a little differently, so that's what our brain puts like makes us see to make it make sense to what we actually saw.
Well, I always like, I never saw anything weird, but it always it's just weird driving home when we lived outside of Boulder. Because
Mhm.
I would go out and just like, the trip is like 20 minutes, like in the middle of nowhere, pretty much, before you get to the town that I lived in. And just that one day, I had the detour, that owl, like it was,
Did you miss any time?
no, I was freaked out. Not that
But
I
you
know
don't-
of.
What was
Okay.
that movie, The Fourth Kind, with Mila Jovovich? They had a lot of owls in that.
Yeah, that was proven to be not necessarily a hoax, but that it said it was based on true events, but it's kind of been shown to.
Blair Witchy.
No, like that some of the stuff that it was based on has kind of been disproven a little bit.
Oh.
But yeah, the whole owl thing. So
But yeah,
maybe
I mean,
some
it was
maybe some
weird.
aliens put some stuff in your butt, Adrian. You don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe
You got
it's
any
still
weird
there.
got any weird scars or birthmarks that you don't recall getting?
Does an antenna come out of your butt?
Out of the butt? No, not that I know of. Oh, have you ever done the train tracks here in San Antonio?
Yeah, I didn't like that.
Oh, that whole area is kind of weird. Have you done them, Ryan?
No, but and my parents have. Like it's been around for a long time.
Yeah, you go to the train tracks, you put baby powder on your bumper, you park on it,
You put it
going
neutral.
uphill, put in neutral, you're facing uphill, and then you just turn it off or put it in neutral, and then it pushes you over.
Yeah.
So it feels like you're going over the train tracks, and then when you look at the back, you see the little handprints that little kids are pushing you over the train tracks.
Yeah, I can't remember, some paranormal investigation thing.
It's
Yeah,
magnets
something
or
about
something
that.
like that. It's a magnetic
Yeah.
field.
No, the whole thing is it's on a hill going down, but going over the track it's a little bit up.
Yeah.
So you are going downhill, but it feels like you're going up over the thing.
Yeah.
And then the little handprints are just you
touching
your trunk.
Yeah.
But the weird thing is in that area there's a neighborhood, and all the streets in the neighborhood are named Billy Joe and Little Cindy Lou and all those weird little old-timey children names.
Yeah. My only other one was when I worked downtown in San Antonio on the Riverwalk. I worked at this little kind of restaurant that the building was not meant to be a restaurant. It was built a long, long, long time ago, and it was eventually turned into a restaurant. So it was just a very old building, and the office, to your left, there was a doorway, but there was no door there, and it went into this kind of tunnel. And when you walked into there, it was we used it for storage and everything, for beer and everything, and to your right was wine and some other stuff, and then to your left would go all the way down to the sewage stuff, the sump pump, because we're below the sewer level, so you had to have a pump that took the sewage back up to the sewers and street level. And then to the right of that was this little nook tunnel thing that went back maybe 20 feet or so, but just stopped and ended at a wall, and it just was really creepy. And I remember there'd be nights where I'd be doing paperwork and stuff late at night in the office, and I just could feel it was creepy. It just was this weird tunnel that led nowhere, and just there was creepy vibes in there sometimes. So, but the only time I ever experienced something there, but other employees and stuff always talked about, oh, I saw this, or there was this, there was I saw a guy sitting in here when we were completely closed, at a table with a candle lit, blah blah blah. I never saw any of that stuff, but I was walking through the kitchen area, making sure all the ovens were off and the pilot lights were lit and everything, things you do in a kitchen. And as I'm and the bartender's waiting for me, it was the two of us were going to walk out together, you should do that, it's safe. And as I'm walking through the kitchen, I feel someone put their hand on my shoulder, and I think it's the bartender. And I turn around and I'm like, hey, and there's no one there. And I'm like, what the fuck? And so I just kind of finish the few things that I had left to do really quick, and I go, and I'm like, hey, let's go. Bartender's like, what's wrong? I was like, let's just go. And so we leave, lock up, close everything, and then I told the bartender what happened, and she was like, what the hell, that's so creepy. And I was like, yeah, I know, I'm glad you were there, but yeah, that was kind of the other thing I've had happen to me that was really creepy and intense.
Didn't involve a ghost or anything, but I had an armadillo scare the hell out of me one time. 4 o'clock in the morning, I was walking out to my car, and it walked right past me. And I don't know if you've ever seen a real life armadillo. I always only see them on the ground dead, but it brushed my leg as it walked past me, and it's hoofing and grunting, and the nails were clacking on the ground. So that's always fun to have happen to you at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Those things carry disease.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got scabies on your leg.
Lupus.
Something.
Got the chicken pox.
Dillopox.
Ooh.
All right. Do you have anything else, Jason?
No, I'll share it some other time. I like to keep people in suspense.
All right. Yeah. Well, that about wraps it up.
I didn't even say my scariest ones.
What the?
Oh, that's the whole point of this whole episode.
No. I have something to look forward to now.
I hate you sometimes.
Oh, you hate me sometimes? The first thing I ever said at my new job, they were talking about French bread in France tastes better, and I asked them if it's just called bread in France.
It's called pan.
Because it's not French bread. It's just bread.
Pan François. Pan Francois?
Parlez-vous français?
That's a guy's name. Francois?
Voulez-vous coucher avec moi?
Whatever.
Oui.
So, hey, why don't you, our listeners, send us your scary stories? You can do that by emailing us at nextgenretromen@gmail.com.
You can also send them to us on Next Gen Retromen's Instagram. It's called Next Gen Retromen. Or on Twitter at Next Gen Retromen.
Follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/nextgenretromen. Or watch us on YouTube at Next Gen Retromen.
I mean, they're mostly gonna listen to us. It's just our logo.
They can
No,
watch it.
They can watch that logo.
Put it
They
on
can watch
mute.
my one video.
And as always, you can listen to us on Podbean, Spotify, YouTube, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Google us. You know.
They
all
actually
that
come
stuff.
up if you Google us now. For a
Yeah.
while, you weren't.
Look at us.
Oh, yeah.
Moving on up.
How much did that cost?
Nothing.
I did some things, but you know.
Uh-oh. Those are stories for another time, apparently.
That was number 3
Oh,
on my scary stories.
The things Jason did.
To get us on the algorithm.
All right. That's it, bye.